All right, let's dive into something pretty cool today. We're looking at what might be a major leap forward for AI image tools, a new model that's basically trying to be a complete creative suite all on its own. It's called Qwen-Image 2.0, and it's making some seriously big promises. Let's see if it can back them up. So think about how things usually work with AI image tools. You know the drill. You use one tool to generate an image, and then you have to jump over to a completely different one to edit it. It's kind of clunky, right? A disconnected process. So what if you could just collapse that whole workflow into one single smart system? Well, that is the core idea right behind Qwen-Image 2.0. The team basically took their two different models, one for making images from scratch, the other for tweaking them, and fused them together. The result is one unified system that's designed to make the whole creative process feel seamless. And this really lays it out perfectly. The old way meant bouncing between different programs. The Qwen-Image 2.0 way, though, it streamlines everything. You create, you modify, all in the same space, with the same AI. This integration, this is the key innovation we're really digging into today. Okay, so how good is it really? To find out, we're kicking things off with a massive challenge, creating a complex, professional-grade infographic. You know, this is a true test of whether an AI can handle structured, data-heavy design. And the prompt we gave it was no joke. It asked for a detailed, A3-sized financial report. That means it needed to handle sophisticated layouts, complex charts, and, this is the really hard part, bilingual text in both English and Chinese. This is exactly the kind of task that trips up most models. And here's what it came up with in just a few seconds. I mean, at first glance, it looks incredibly polished. The layout is clean, the sections are clear. It honestly feels like a document you'd see in a corporate boardroom. Now let's zoom in on the details, because this is where it gets really interesting. That bilingual text is rendered almost perfectly. It successfully created complex things like spark lines and bubble charts, and just look at that world map with the precise callouts. Even the numbers, like the percentages, are sharp and easy to read. The overall quality was so high that the source material called it an impressive demonstration. Now, if you look really closely, there's some tiny text garbling, but for a first shot, this is a remarkable result. It shows a deep understanding of what makes a design look professional. Okay, so it can handle graphic design, but what about photorealism? For our next test, we're going to see if Qwen-Image 2.0 can create convincing, lifelike human subjects, from pixels to people. So the first attempt here was a bit of a learning experience. They gave it this overly ambitious prompt, asking for a huge, complex scene, and it came back with some of those classic AI flaws. You know, weird-looking hands. But by simplifying the prompt and making it more focused, that's when the model really started to shine. And this is the result of that refined prompt. It's a candid style shot of two women in a cafe. The mood, the lighting, the composition, it all feels incredibly authentic, like a snapshot taken by a professional photographer. And when you look closer, the realism is just built from all these tiny details. You can see natural skin texture, even visible pores, and realistic highlights in their hair. But it goes beyond just the technical stuff. It captures this genuine warmth in their expressions, and even nails advanced photo techniques like depth of field. It all just adds up. The source didn't mince words, stating that the photorealism here is, quote, exceptional. And that's a huge step forward, right? It shows the model can capture not just a likeness, but an emotion and an atmosphere. And now for the final showdown. We've seen it generate images, but can it edit them? We're about to put it through a rapid-fire gauntlet to test its versatility, speed, and precision when it's just modifying an image. So this is going to be our canvas, a simple, clean, AI-generated portrait. From here, we're just going to throw a series of different editing tasks at it, one right after the other. First up, add text. The model was asked to put a specific phrase on the woman's shoulder. And there it is. Clear, placed correctly, and it looks like it belongs there. A very strong start. Okay, next, something a little more creative. The prompt was to turn the banana into a glowing lightsaber. And not only did it make the change, but it correctly added the light spill onto her hand and face. That shows it actually understands how light is supposed to interact with things around it. For the final edit, the task was to add a totally new object, a little robot mascot sitting on her shoulder. And again, it placed it perfectly. It looks like it belongs in the scene. So that's 3 tests, 3 successes. So, after all these demanding tests, from professional design to photorealism to rapid-fire editing, what's the final verdict on Qwen-Image 2.0? Is it a new creative powerhouse? Let's break it down. On the strength side, having generation and editing unified in one tool is a game changer. It produces pro-quality infographics, it handles bilingual text surprisingly well, the photorealism is exceptional, and the editing is fast and versatile. Now, the weaknesses? It can still get tripped up by overly complex prompts, and you'll still see some minor flaws, like that slightly garbled text or the occasional unnatural detail. Oh, and one last key detail, especially for anyone doing serious work, all of these outputs are generated at a professional-grade 2K resolution. That's crucial because it means the images are high quality enough for actual print or digital design work. Which kind of brings us to a final thought. We've just seen a model successfully merge two separate creative jobs into one fluid workflow. So the big question is, what's next? Now that these fundamental building blocks are in place, what new creative frontiers will AI help us explore?